net worth on the map, on his Mirana.
Very similar experience going around for both sides. The levels on the supports, level 5s on Io, level 5 on Willow. Undying level 4, Ogre also level 4, so pretty even experience and gold coming out in this first 9 minutes.
Yeah, Storm giving MSS that lane so we can try and find that 6 as they have rotated. Snaking up towards the top. He's there with SVG and Resolution. Now Resolution will feel a bit more confident just going for the CS and not worrying too much about being attacked by Zai and Pycat. Especially with 33 moving elsewhere on the map as we saw, heading down towards that bottom lane.
Yeah, they switched the lanes instantly. Snaking walked toward top and they just gave MSS bottom lane. They're like, all right, we need to make sure our Willow gets items because this hero, the amount of things that you can actually do once you get your level 6, once you get some, like your Yule Scepter, your Blink Dagger, is pretty tremendous.
Today is just not your day.
So you got the smoke from Optic. They're going for snaking.
Yeah, it's got that reincarnate, so they are going to have to do it twice. Moonlight Shadow comes out. They do have that Sentry Ward down. They'll get the Jingu Mastery. No, they didn't quite get it stacked up. He died too quick. We'll see if that comes into play at all. They'll put the Boundless down. Does manage to get the stun onto Snaking, and they will kill him off. So they will manage to take down that Wraith King twice and get themselves the kill. Elsewhere, Zai, CCNC being forced away, but they find a bit of action for Pycat to get involved in.
It was a good aggressive move too. They understand that Storm's splitting up their resources so heavily. They see Mojo, like MSS farming bottom, they see UR farming mid. They have to make an aggressive move in all 3 cores. Like, I'll count MSS kind of for gold right now.
No TP on MSS at the moment as well, so they knew that you wouldn't be there in time to react to those sort of aggressive plays.
So no Wraithing though, 160 seconds. Very significant. Even though we do see Storm with that gold lead, it's majority placed on just that mid lane. You are having that differential.
Top lane again, SVG coming back into backup Resolution.
They could look to fight this one. MSS's TP is on cooldown for about 20, but UR has a haste rune.
Yeah, everyone's heading up here. UR and Snaking ready to join. SVG starting to get gone up on them. But the Stampede here, Optic ready to go straight in on top of the Ogre Magi. The arrow does catch out the Lesh, and UR jumps in, looking for the follow-up damage onto CCNC, and it's enough. CCNC will fall. UR finds one. Resolution being focused by Pycat. He's going to get stunned. He's already used the Boundless. He's got the heal from Zai. PPD as well, looking to turn towards Snaking. Fire Blast from SVG comes out. UR jumps in with the Starfall, gets the double kill. Now he's looking to head down to chase down PPD. Can they find him up in the trees? Zai did end up going down to MSS. Another arrow from Yawar finds the connection, and Yawar and SVG will beat down another.
Yawar.
Triple kill for Yawar.
Beautiful arrow on the Lesh. He kept canceling the animation too when the Stampede was going off. He got the exact target he wanted to. Yep. Once the Lesh is down, the fight becomes very difficult for Optic, then because of the way that they overextended past the tower. Great reactionary move coming out from Storm.
Does get stunned from the tree line here by CCNC. He's got a leap left. That was his last one. Does have the backup of SVG as well. The stick charges Zai coming in. The balls will do it. Zai gets the kill, and now they turn towards SVG as well. Stone will be duped, but it doesn't matter as they chase, or maybe it does the terrorize. Not in time to save him, but maybe MSS can find the return kills, get Zai before they relocate back to safety. But Optic able to strike back hard there. As we saw UR probably feeling himself a little bit. He got a triple kill. He was like, all right, I'm going to go mid and start pushing. Didn't take into account the fact that CCC was back in the game, and he gets that smart stun from the fog.
Yeah, and then the Zai relocate, of course. Zai getting himself a good chunk of gold. I think, what, 622? So finish up the urn. Didn't get a charge, but having the urn nice and early on, very important for those heroes.
CCC's got an invis. If he finds the stun, could get the killer on MSS with the burst, moves in, has the backup of Zion, bam, MSS gone, the Invis rune grants him a kill.
That's a big kill. Like, you look, CCNC's level 10. Look at MSS. He's also level 10 on a Willow.
Down bottom, the Stampede. Ooh, nicely used to juke out the arrow, but 33 should still go down. Resolution's there to find him in the trees. They are able to chase down the Centaur. 33 unable to escape despite the use of the Stampede as VGJ.Storm look to take the bottom tier 1 tower. Mid lane will go in the favor of Optic as they take the tower down and instantly look to smoke and head towards the top lane. At the moment though, Storm, they don't have anyone here. Optic, instead of a kill there, they can look to just take another tower. So we'll see if Storm want to try and defend, or we'll just let this one go. They smoke up themselves.
Storm is playing very fast. I have not really seen them hitting neutrals at all this game. Every single time they're just looking to pick fights. One person farming with a TP available, and then the other 3 go set up a team fight. And look at their warding too. During all this, they've kept all of the vision up during the game, while on Optic, they got nothing. They have no wards down on the map at the moment. We see Peter probably going to place one now, but very limited on the vision.
33, despite going down on that bottom lane, he's very close to having the Blink Dagger on top of the Hood of Defiance. It's about 200 gold, 300 gold away from having that one. Snaking on the high ground. He's going to get eyes as CCC and Zai coming in. They'll look for the two-man Terrorize and will catch onto the IO. So Zai has no chance to sort of do anything in return to this play as he'll get bursted down. Nice Terrorize from across the tree line there by MSS to disable the IO.
Now they know that the Vision's in that area, so they might actually get both of these wards dewarded, which could be pretty costly for Storm, only getting that IO kill for it. You are also arrowed Ancient, by the way, there, but we won't say that. He stopped a few times, then he arrowed it, and I don't think he noticed that he was just lined up perfectly for it.
Winning on the high ground here. UPD is going to head forward. Let's get fire blasted. They get a good roll as well with the follow-up stuns. They've got the lockdown and the crit to slice through the skull of the Undying and pull him apart.
The control.
So looking to push in on mid. CCNC's trying to slow down the push. They will back away, Storm. 12-6, only a 1K lead though at the moment. Very close game indeed between these two teams. While still at the front of the net worth, but it's very, very close between the rest of the cores behind him.
Yeah. So we've seen what? Pycat went, Resolution went for the Hood, of course, since he's versus that Leshrac. And we see the Echo Saber build to the Monkey. Arrow connects.
They've got the connection. Zai is healing him up. Is it enough to save? 33 coming in with the Blink reveal. Looks to burst down MSS, but MSS gets the Shadow Realm off. Still falls. Get the 1-for-1. Yawar looking to chase down Zai. Zai tethering across. Has Yawar got the right clicks to bring Zai down? He does. A second kill for Storm. Pycat trying his best to fight back with a Fire Blast. Into the arrow, into the Ray Fire Blast. They've got stuns for days, but there's the turnaround. 33 comes in with a stun. It's not enough to buy time for Pycat to lie still. Back up as Pycat goes down 33 as well. The stuns from Storm on point, as soon as they get one opener, they can just consistently lock that hero down for hours after hours.
It seems like they're just, like I was saying, they're always ready to fight. They're bringing 4 or 5 heroes. They're outnumbering Optic at every situation. And Optic, they have the IO. So you'd expect Optic to be able to do that one, but VG.Storm playing at that very quick pace. And PPD did get the double D-ward with the Sentry while he was making his way up there, but he wasn't there for that. That fight was Optic without their Undying.
Now that lead's starting to build. 4K advantage for 5K now off the back of that team fight. In favor of VGJ.Storm.
They just got some big items picked up too now on Storm. They've got the Blade Mill for snaking, so that's going to make CCNC's life pretty miserable. Leshrac versus Blade Mill, not a whole lot of fun. And Yawara's already starting to pick up some stat items too. He's got the Dragon Lance on the way to that Maelstrom, and he's been having a spectacular game already.
Yeah. A 6-1-6 performance from Yawara so far. Jump. Does actually catch him out despite the leap. They find the stun. He's got a couple of leaps left. Not just the one. He's got one coming back up in a second, but he doesn't have the mana, so he will go down. The relocate gank from Zaya's success.
That's what happens. We praise him, he dies. But he got the tower secured. Didn't get denied at least. Optic just needs to make sure that Pycat can get an item. Once he gets Echo Saber and all this, he's actually going to be a little bit more of a force, but we've just been seeing him getting non-stop disabled in all these engagements.
It's going to keep happening until he gets a BKB as well, which, as you say, we're going for the Echo, of course, first, as you want to do so.
Yeah.
It's going to be some time.
SVG's been such an annoyance with him. He's just walking around, follow him in the fights. So Pykat's like, I'm going to hit this Ogre, but it's an Ogre. So sure, he can build up the Jingu stacks, but killing this Ogre still takes some time. And SVG throws out a couple stuns, his team follows up, and that's when they can actually go for the pickup.
There's just so much to say, but and on very low cooldowns as well, the stuns.
MSS is getting close to the Spirit Vessel already, so throwing that onto Zai in the team fights, very obnoxious. We'll let him use any of that healing from the IO.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Top tier 2. Optic. Looking to get away with taking this one as Storm. Coming in with a reaction as of yet. Trying to scale the area there with the arrow. Keep eyes as Yawar does manage to grab himself a regen. Getting closer and closer down the Maelstrom on top of the Dragon Lance. Bottom lane.
I might sound silly here, but I see Zai has 3 points in Tether over points in Overcharge.
That's a little different.
Right? Usually we see the max overcharge for the damage reduction, but maybe he wants to be able to try to get the healing going, because it does increase now with the tether levels.
Sure.
I'm used to seeing the max overcharge, max spirits. Just wanted to point that one out.
Storm will back off as Optic show themselves down bottom.
As a unit, though, look at that. All 5 back up. They get ready for a smoke. They're not going to look to slow down.
Yeah, then this might catch off CCNC in the mid lane. We'll see how carefully he plays. As they head up. You're going to find CCNC. The Stampede comes out immediately from 33, and he's able to use up snaking. So no stun to open up. CCNC able to disengage and get out of there. Nice reaction.
Good sentry placement. That's the one that sentry has already done great work. It killed 2 wards and it just revealed a gank that was coming through. Storm still getting a bit more out of the map than Optic. We see Rezo is starting to get that farm built up. He hadn't died at all in the game somehow either. 2-0-4 with the defusal not finished. He's going to be able to accelerate faster and faster because now the bloodlust has also come out.
I mean, that really is the thing that sort of steps Rezo ahead of a lot of the other carries in the game. Just how he very rarely
very rarely dies.
He never feeds. In sort of a lane like that, a lot of carries that get frustrated. You know, they sort of throw away a life in the attempt to get a CS, but Resolution, very used to seeing play as cool as he does.
They're trying to claim some bounty runes. Looks like they're trying to get at least 3. That should be the case.
33, of course, looking to go for the pipe to buff up his team, as he knows the pie cat. Wow, he is obviously working on the BKB next, but
okay,
just anything they can do to sort of keep that Monkey King alive. I mean, I think he has to.
I guess
he literally can't turn up to these fights without a BKB. There's just so many stuns.
Yeah, I thought he might go for the Crimson Guard first on the Centaur. PPD.
Oh, sorry, okay, yeah.
Instead of the pipe, right?
Yeah.
The pipe, I look in there, they have magic, sure, but like I feel like their physical is way higher.
Well, sure, because I was going to ask about that as well, because he obviously favored the 10% magic resistant talents over the 10% evasion, and I feel like we sometimes see the evasion talent taken against like illusion heroes like the PL.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I guess this game, yeah, just more worried about the magical burst. I mean, sure, there is a Mirana, the Dark Willow, of course.
The Willow is the big one.
We've seen how much magical damage in MSS Dark Willow.
Yeah, I think it's really the Willow for the most part. And I guess maybe the Maelstrom and Mjolnir, but...
Look at that, there straight away, but the save is in. Zai comes in with a heal, Pycat will be fine. Now they'll look to fight on. They'll turn towards Resolution. Resolution getting surrounded. He's going to go for the TP out. And, he's not going to make it away. CCC comes in with the Yules play. Terrorizer tried to use by MSS in an attempt to save him. It might just do so. Resolution gets the doppelganger out, but still, he'll fall. They're able to find the kill onto the PL. Now in return, Storm turning their attention towards Zai. Zai will go down. PPD surrounded by the 3 of them. He's trying to keep himself alive with the decay. Yuar jumps away, turns around, gives him the right clicks. And 2 for 2. Ooh. As they nearly keep Resolution alive there, Storm. But Optic Gaming do get that big old kill, finally taking down that PL. But
so much sustain coming out from them. The pipe was delivered before that fight too, and it made a pretty significant difference.
A trade that Optic will be happy with, just losing their 2 supports and managing to take a carry and a support away from a team that was ahead of them now. As the lead has started to go down a little bit. Just a 2k advantage for Storm.
Yeah, the tombstone placement in that fight too was super clutch. You saw Peter kind of placed it on this high ground position in the tree line, so they actually couldn't hit it, so the zombies started to build up, and that was causing some serious problems for Storm. But either way, Optic do come out ahead on that one, getting the PL kill as well as a pretty rich Willow. And Pycat survives during it all. Very needed.
They will probably know that ward is there, as we saw obviously from Pycat jumping into that tree was instantly cut down.
Yes.
So Pycat will know that they saw him go for the jump forward.
MSS is the same level as Yuar in this game.
He's been given that. So we saw him have so much time on his own down on that bottom lane. Yeah.
Huh.
And this is, it never feels bad making sure Willow has levels.
Yeah, no, of course not. I didn't think he'd be level 14 at the same time.
Sure, I mean,
Yuar, who's been getting kills nonstop. They've got a DD rune now on Yuar. They're looking to try to set something up here. They still have that vision, that ward that you were talking about before. So they're setting up around Snake.
CCC, he's going to look to go in, but indeed it's a bit of a bait, as VGJ.Storm do not mind them at all trying to initiate onto the Wraith King, as instantly they find both CCNC, BBD, can they get Zai as well? They can. They get the vision for Snake King to get that Wraith Fire blast in. 3 heroes are taken down, and that really was just a bit of an overstep on Optic Gaming's part, looking to try and initiate onto a Wraith King as deep as that. it was a misplay that cost them heavily. They've lost 3 heroes. Storm heads straight into a pit. They can't afford to make those mistakes, Optic.
Oh, Optic can't contest this at all now.
Yeah.
This is a free rush for Storm. That ward just paying dividends there. Giving them the vision of the Optic setting up for the gank, and Storm just sat behind their Wraith King.
Towards the top. We'll see what they would have seen that 33 was heading up here on his own. Does have a TP and does have a blink, so it will be very hard to find if they do try and look to hunt for him in the trees. They're not going to ping it. They're not going to look.
Oh, just got to start the TP out. Yeah. So it looks like he will go for the Crimson Guard afterwards. So I guess he just, he just felt like the pipe would make, it did make a pretty big difference in that one engagement. So we've got the Skeletons attack damage now. Bit of more of a pushing monster on that Wraith King now.
Thinking just going to get the AC as well after this.
Yeah, I mean that seems to be the off lane build, right? You're just like you're this aura guy, Blink Blade Melee. I've seen like a couple. I don't think in a competitive game at the Aghanims, but a couple times in the pub games I've seen them build it.
The BKB is now done for Pycat, so
that'll be important
for sure. He can now sort of stand his ground in the fight and not worry too much about dying that quickly. At least they obviously do still have physical answers to go through that BKB in terms of the punch of the Wraith King and the PL. But obviously a fair bit of that damage will be reduced. Don't worry too much about.
Does feel like CCNC has to go for one pretty soon too. I mean, I know how he really wants the Bloodstone, and he probably, like, finishing it is fine, but he really needs, like, BKB and Shivas in this game is an absolute necessity, because he's still going to get controlled. The Willow is going to do a lot of damage to him in the team fights. And just, like you said, the overall control. Just far too much disable. And Yawar is almost going to have that BKB for himself, so he's going to have a lot more freedom in the fight to just get on top of that IO, get on top of the Undying, kill them right away, and then go for that number advantage. Rezo's getting close to a heart. Which that's the point where Lesh doesn't clear the illusions at the speed that he really wants to. Until you get your edicts, or your level 20 talent, the Pulse Nova damage.
Oh, look at this Invis rune here. MSS getting vision of them all, and it looks like they weren't prepared for it. They'll drop a sentry down. They'll see him now, but the fight's going to kick off in the favor of Storm as they go straight away with the Raid 5 Blast. Pycat does get in the middle of them with the Wukong's command, trying to fight back. Yawar jumps out to the side of the old Pycat. He's doing a hell of a lot of damage here with this ultimate. He's taken down the Raid King once, finds MSS. They'll get themselves another, but the buybacks come into play as they want to keep finding Optic on their half of the map. They've got the favorable side as they'll take down a second for Optic's 33.
Oh, they get the arrow.
Oh, they're going to fight back, jumping in now with the BKB gone. Pycat can't fight back. CCNC trying with the magical damage. Zai has to take him out. Zai will take him back to base.
And they will lose 33 on the end of it with the buyback from MSS on the back line.
It looked like that was going to go Optic's way.
That was
Pycat in perfect position. The ult worked out, but as you saw there, sort of the no hesitation on the buyback. Zai wanted to get back in. MSS as well, just returning immediately to the fight. And with sort of both shrines are both sort of easily accessible in terms of getting back to that area. Still works out in favor of Storm. They come out on top.
Rezo still had the Aegis through all that too. He didn't even die. He ran away from the Wukong's command. They just kind of sacrificed. They're like, all right, we're going to lose heroes in that. We're going to lose our Snake King.
PPD he's just dead.
He looks pretty dead if he can get the gap close. The IO's there, but...
Okay.
He's out.
Okay. He's got the backup. Look towards Rezo. Snake King is there on the side, and Rezo, looking to sort of charge right in the midst of them all. He's going to get Yulesed up, but as you say, does still have that Aegis. Pycat looking to come in, but oh no. I know, we'll talk about that in a bit, but there's the stun out onto Resolution. They do manage to get him once. Did you see what happened?
Yeah, he cut the trees with the tomb.
He cut the trees with the tombstone.
His stun connects.
Here we go. They found the second stun. Resolution does get the doppelganger out. Goes for the TP. He's playing for the big plays, but he ain't going to pay off. They've got the damage. They'll take him down.
Rezo with a big mistake, trying to make a solo play. Yeah, he went by himself there while his team's just pushing out the side lanes.
And it still worked out even with PPD dropping the tombstone on Pycat's tree. They've got to watch out with those sort of plays. May cost them next time.
I knew something like that would happen. Yeah. Right? Like, at some point, you're going to see a Doppel cut some trees. You're going to see a tombstone cut some trees.
Well, that's fine, because the PL's not on your team.
What about the split earth, though? That one might happen, too.
Oh, yeah. They've got to be careful, Optic.
So that was pretty nice, right? I think.
Exactly. I mean, they take the Aegis out of Reza,
Yep.
and they kill him off.
And it's like the gold thing, like Storm, of course, they won that last fight pretty heavily, but CCNC, he lived throughout all of it, right? And he got some kills, so Bloodstone charges start to stack up. Up to 20.
He's happy with that one, and as you say, going for that BKB next. That's what he needs.
God, we really do curse these players, though. We're like, Rezo, very
never
stable,
feeds,
never feeds.
Doesn't ever go overboard. Charges straight in.
Charges in
I'm
3
fighting,
arrows.
boys. I mean, he did have the Aegis.
He did.
I'll side with him. He's probably saying that's on his team. He's like, team, I'm fighting. I've got Aegis. You've got more than enough time to come and join me. It was on his team.
At least they farmed a lot during it while he was making that play. Like, they were farming the side lanes and the jungle, but...
Just aggressive space making.
Sure.
That's what I call it when I charge into the enemy team.
Yeah, I'm used to that.
There we go, top. See if they can find anything with this smoke. CCNC and Zai. At the moment, only sort of resolution in the neighborhood. So they can find a position to sort of open onto him. He's going to start to move himself away. He knows that something's up. The Bulls will find him. They've got the Euros. They've got the perfect stun timing. Bam comes out. But the Terrorize sends them away. 33 does still get over. But that Terrorize there will absolutely save resolution. This time MSS is there with the backup, and the 3-man Terrorize puts that gank to an end.
Now 33 is completely out of mana. They might look to re-engage with this.
I mean, you what? Just leap straight forward. They look to focus downside, take the IO out of the fight. Oh, can they find anything more? 33 being chased down, does get the blink off. Finds the bounty rune too, and he will go safely back to his half of the map. So only side to fall.
I got scared for a second. Pycat was trying to jump through trees, and he actually jumped into a bramble.
Oh.
But they didn't notice. They were chasing 33 for the moment.
Is Pycat taking the turns for himself?
Did he?
I mean, he's got one in his stash. As it is.
Yep.
Yep.
Radiant's middle.
I mean, you know, what was he wanting trying to hit?
The supports?
They are big. They're big talents. You want to get to them ASAP on the Monkey King.
I mean, they're definitely feeling very pressured, right? They know they're very behind in this game.
And, you know, as I sort of said at the start, a lot of the time, Optic games, they like to put a lot of pressure on Pycat, just making sure that they can enable Pycat to carry as hard as possible.
That's, man. I actually think 33 has to be careful. Maybe not be careful, but they have to try to get on top of MSS. Because if he stampedes and a Terrorize hits, the rest of his team runs full movement speed back to their base.
That's true, actually.
Right? Like this, I saw them.
I mean, they picked the sensor into the Dark Willows.
Because I was wondering why they were running so fast. Because I was like, wait, oh yeah, they were stampeded. Uh-oh.
Absolutely, the stampede is certainly something that can work against them.
They got to be. I mean, that's something that you can't really expect, but. MSS level 18 now. So they're really prioritizing giving the levels to that man. Now he's got, I mean, that's where the Bedlam gets solo kill potential on the cores.
There's that full AC done on Snaking.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of big items coming out for their cores. Optic. They do have the Shadow Blade now finished for Pycat, so he could have some freedom in the fights.
Time for the jump in. Snaking will be fine though. Moonlight Shadow comes out, and the rest of Optic not wanting to commit too heavily. In fact, Snaking, he's the one that wants to fight. He goes straight forward. The stun will be juked out by 33. They'll be able to take down Snaking once. Can they do it again? That's the question. PPD and CCNC trying to keep the rest of the Storm to the side. Snaking pops the Blade Mail. CCNC's got the BKB and the magic damage, so nothing's getting returned to him. He's fine and can man up and get the kill.
That's the BKB reveal. CCNC is getting to the point of those items we were talking about, right? Yes. He's got the BKB, now has the plate mail too. Once he gets the Shivas, he's very scary, especially when Io's tethered to him. The Aghanim's bonus, I mean, it's nice. It throws the extra lightning every time, like in the vicinity.
It's not bad at all.
It adds something, it helps you find the real PL. And that's important. So, they also, I mean, they have a lot of Aghanim's bonuses, right? Like they can Aghanim Stampede if he gets the tether off beforehand too.
Yeah, the Ag Stampede could actually be quite important, you know, just sort of extra mechanism to keep Pycat alive so he can stand his ground in the Wukong's command.
Yeah, exactly.
Having that damage reduction on a Monkey King during his ult, it's beautiful.
I'm watching to make sure that if Vici.Storm has the reveal, and I don't see them actually carrying any reveal, which they do see Pycat right now with the ward. They see him with the Shadow Blade. So in the fights, they have to be able to put down a sentry, or he can just, you know, ult, go and Shadow Blade for him.
Yeah. They're going to have to get some of that out. Running on the courier. They do. Straight out.
Straight away, right?
Pack of dust go in the way of MSS.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought they'd bring him pretty soon. They've also got Shadow Blade on Rezo now as well. So he's a little bit more elusive in the fights.
Full Mjolnir on your Wat.
Yep. But the big one on Optic is CCNC having these items that allow him just to run through.
Yeah, we saw how much damage you can kick out in that last fight. Yeah, resolution, obviously.
Another smoke.
Butterfly after the Shadow Blaze. It's going to be what he goes for. Smoke up for the Storm. Optic.
They've got high ground at the moment. CCC shows himself on low ground, but the rest of the team are repositioning themselves.
So who's going to reveal who first? Storm smartly not looking to just go up blindly into the high ground.
No, not versus these heroes, definitely not.
They are waiting until they see something come out their way, and Optic will go for a smoke themselves. I know what they went for, about. They're just moving over to the jungle. Both teams avoiding one another for now.
The bloodlust is really enabling them to keep that farm up. You see them, like, they're always a little bit more ahead of the gain of gold just keeps continuing for Storm because they're able to farm and push out those lanes just a little bit faster from bloodlust.
One lane is pressured in by the illusions.
Jawar is waiting. He's waiting for someone to react to this. He's in position.
Oh. Okay. I mean, if he finds an arrow, it is a tricky one to find, though. But if he somehow manages to get an arrow connection, he could go for it, but Pike kept playing it safe, getting back up top. Bouncy room was being thought about by Optic Gaming, but they won't go and look to contest it. They want to try and take a fight in an unfavorable position, but they may have to do so soon as Roshan is up.
Both teams are going to have to try to get their wards, get the control up around here, make sure those side lanes are pushed in. We see already VG.Storm pushing in mid, pushing in top, setting up to prepare for Roche. Optic will start kind of staying very, very close in the same area. Pycat is jumping through it, is under vision. So Storm is aware of where this Monkey King is.
Yeah, instant pings out mid coming out. We'll see if Snaking's plans to get out of there, if he wants to sort of start something and tank it. He's going to be jumped on. So Optic looking to initiate onto Snaking. Snaking gets forced to the side by SVG, but still goes down the once. Do they want to try and take this fight to Storm? That's the question. Looks like they won't. They'll say, Snaking, you're going down here. They'll let him go. Optic get the kill on the Wraith King, and they can look towards Roshan. Snaking does have buyback, though. So Storm, they should know that the Optic have gone straight towards this. And Optic, they look like they want to try and find more kills before they really commit for it. Yuar gets the leap up to the high ground. They'll go for the Yours play, but the Terrorize comes out. As CCC did not pop the BKB before looking to do that combo. The root comes through onto PPD. PPD's gone. Buyback as well from Snaking. As they look to keep this fight going, they'll turn towards 33. They'll chuck him up in the end. Now CCC looks to fight back with the BKB. Going on to this Snaking where he wants. They'll take him down. He didn't have Reincarnate back up in time. BKB from Pycat as Pycat looks to chase down SVG. SVG look for the Dukes up to the high ground, but 33 hot on the case. Trying to chase. The Moonlight Shadow comes out. Do those two have detection upon them? They don't. Zai, does he either? No, he does not. So SVG, he can hide. He should be okay, but still, Optic more than happy with that one as they get MSS. And they are able to kill Snaking that third time effectively as he buys back for that fight.
Such a great position of a fight for them there. CCC kind of runs in, and with all this armor that we're talking about, 28 armor, he's getting pretty tanky. 26 Bloodstone charges, infinite mana pretty much in the fights. Oh, Shiva's, that was the Shiva's on there.
That was deep rezo with a massive courier find there by the secret shop of Optic Gaming.
Zai.
Are they going to look to get in the pit in time? Optic trying to finish this one off. SVG, he has been found by the Bulls of Zai. They found him, he's finally found his hiding place.
Optic does not kill the Roshan a fast time.
Now they will get SVG though. Double edge from 33 finishes him off, so that's another hero down on Storm. Snaking's going to be back up in 12. SVG buys back. They really don't want to let this Roshan go the way of Optic.
Now with the Flesh Golem, this is where the amplification comes through. They're going to start killing it a bit faster. Storm has to be prepared.
Resolution starting to send illusions in, trying to get the vision so he knows the info on how low it is. Jawar coming in for the side. He's got the BKB back up and he's looking to take the Tombstone down straight away. Tombstone's gone, leaps back out, keeps the distance. SVG getting thrown up into the air. Snaking leaning forward, looking on to go on top of 33. Pike up with the BKB, straight with the boundless strike onto the two of them. Jawar's got another leap, trying to escape. 33 jumps forward with the double edge. They get the slow. Pike up with the vision, jumps down. They'll get him. They'll take Jawar down, and Jawar buys back straight away. Back towards the pit. Snaking drops once. The Resolution focusing down Zai. Finds the eye. Zai's got the Ghost Scepter. Buys him a little bit of time, but he doesn't have to have a backup for a second. So he will still fall. Resolution gets the double straight buybacks from both Pycat and Zai. Over towards the side, 33, still sort of keeping Yawar and MSS drawn away from the pit. He will die for it though. Back on mid, buybacks coming out, a third one now from Optic Gaming. Boundless strike down onto SVG, SVG crumbles. SVG now gone for 60 seconds, the Terrorize thrown out just to keep Optic apart. MSS actually jumping in aggressively, snaking as well, looking to go, but he hasn't got reincarnate for 10 seconds. Snaking sort of be careful. Resolution, focusing down CCC, no BKB for 30 seconds. Pycat trying to come in and help, but he jumps into the bramble. Stun, Yawar, they've got the damn ball. He's down for only 4 seconds with the high bloodstone charges that he does have. But Zai hiding on the cliff. But the auto attack gave his position away. He goes down, PPD as well. VGJ.Storm killing Optic over and over again. Numerous diebacks there from Optic Gaming. Roshan, the real winner here, as he's still alive. But Storm, after sort of their resilience in that fight, coming out with the buybacks, able to outplay Optic at the end of the day, they'll be rewarded with Roshan and an Aegis and a cheese.
That was really tough to keep track because we had 2 fights happening, right?
We had to set my camera well. It was all right.
I was glancing up. You looked like you did great. I saw this fight happening in the mid lane. The one that you were mostly following, and then you went up back towards up top, right?
Where 33 was
where 33 was fighting with MSS and Yawar. It was also Pycat up there. Pycat got kited really hard by MSS as well as Yawar. Ended up dying. That's why he fought back, came back into the fight, and then dies again. And yeah, Storm looking very solid in this game. 18K gold lead, 10K experience.
Up to the high ground they go.
Crazy fights.
Certainly starting to see us. We didn't get to see Storm yesterday, but we knew that they were undefeated. And we know that they look very strong coming into this tournament. And this, to start their second day, looks to be the beginnings of another beautiful one for Storm, potentially, as they'll find the mid-melee racks.
They're looking really sharp in their team fights and their speed that they've really been playing at, because they're constantly looking for these engagements. You don't see them playing this slow pace, trying to farm nonstop. They're always looking for the engagements. It's very good to see. Optic, they've been trying to fight back, even with their IO. Like CCNC, he's recovered super well in this game. He has like a 7-4-10, all these bloodstone charges, the Shivas, but Storm just able to just brute force through it with their elusiveness, just resetting the fights over and over again.
And I can't help but I feel that Optic just let VGJ.Storm get too many good heroes. I mean, I know drafting is obviously insanely complex and very hard to do, and but Storm couldn't have been happier with this draft, I feel. They open with Wraith King Willow, they get Yawar's Marana, they get Resolution's PL, and then SVG, you know, we know he's a joker. He's on an Ogre Magi. He's having a great time. They are in their element, VGJ.Storm.
Yawar is 16-3-13, so 29 of the 36 kills have been because of his rotations and his clutch arrows in a lot of these situations.
He nearly dying. That's Resolution. Staking jumps in onto the high ground. They got the stun, the burst from MSS. Shadow Realm hit, they'll find one. The 33 jumps forward, does manage to get the stun, takes MSS out of the game. MSS buys back immediately. They'll bring Snaking down once, then they do it a second time. Snaking surround is slowed down by the Stampede. They will. That's Snaking gone for 70. CCSC now with the lead in with the Yule Scepter onto SVG. He's thrown up into the air. He's getting stunned up by 33, as they will hold with relative ease there, Optic Gaming, instantly taking down 3 members of Storm. MSS, of course, buying back a defense well done from Optic.
A little bit of an overcommit there by Storm, but good hold there from Optic. Wondering what they're going to get next, looking at their items. I mean, they've lost the last engagement, they don't have that much luxury. Looks it's going to be MKB for Pycat.
Yeah. And needs it for sure against the... I say the inevitable butterfly. We did see, of course, a change in resolutions, but he did get the nullifier instead of the butterfly.
How do they kill this? How do they kill this PL now? Like, he's got the 7-second doppelganger cooldown, and we already talked in the beginning about how, you know, their supports don't have the stuns. It's their cores who have the stuns. So they have to be pretty synergized with getting all that disable out to try to go for this PL. And it just gets harder and harder with this cooldown talent.
Well, just doing so much right click now.
Yeah, dataless as well now. And they've got the, not permanent invis, but very low cooldown Moonlight Shadow. So that's when it feels like you're always getting smoke ganked in the game once you approach this late game.
But Optic have got, I'd say they got, I think you can consider them having good high ground, especially when Pycat hits the 25. When you have that AoE of the Wukong's command.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're Storm, you just walk out of it.
That's the thing.
And then go back in when he hasn't got it, but...
That's what they have to be sure to be able to do, is they have to be able to fight inside of that, like, perimeter, around the Tombstone, around the Wukong's command. But it's very difficult, because like we said, yeah, their disables are not as substantial as Storm's. I mean, Willow alone gives you such an immense amount of disable. And MSS has been having a spectacular game as well. Level 24, Blink, Aeon Disc Yules, as well as the Vessel. Having a jolly good time.
Of course, still with the cheese on resolution.
Okay, and Aegis as well still on your war. You can see Optic just still kind of chilling in their base, allowing Pocket to do the split push for now. As the siege begins.
CCC is quickly cleaning out the illusion push, or at least trying to do its best to do so. So with the heart, these illusions can tank a fair bit of this damage.
Doppel cooldown. Just keeps throwing those in there. Infinite illusions.
And it really does take some time for CCC to kill off the illusions.
Yeah, especially the one that's, you know, takes the damage. Takes less damage.
And that Hurricane Pike right clicks there. And CCC bringing him down to half. He's got to be careful.
Aegis just got reclaimed off your war. As they back up, and they'll play it safe. They know that they kept pretty much all of Optic in their base for the last few moments. They're going to run around, collect those bounty runes, keep that economy going, and Snaking summons the army to deal with the lanes.
I mean, it's so nice for just pushing out the side lanes.
Dude, look how it clears the creep wave so fast, and it's also killing the shrine too, so multi-usage.
Wow, look at that.
Fantastic.
72 damage a pop.
Radiant's
a lot of damage.
has fallen.
Oh, man, there's a fight. We better stop watching these skeletons. 33, going in with the Stampede. Thank you. Gets surrounded. They do manage. Oh, they got Pike out. Oh, my. He just gets... He dies immediately. He's gone for 100 seconds. Nullifier from Rezo out onto 33. 33 gone as well. They've got the stun onto PPD. PPD's taken down. 3 dead on Optic. CCC is trying to be healed up by Zai, but it's not enough to keep him alive. Triple kill for Yawar. Zai will escape. But my goodness, Pycat not getting the BKB off, just dies immediately.
Wow. And now, I mean, also the PL has a BKB at that point. Zai gets relocated back in, just dies to MSS's Bedlam with SVG, but
that's game over.
That's game over, yeah.
VGJ.Storm.
Did he get clipped by an arrow, or because I saw him snaking follow-up stun. So he got clipped by some stun first, and then got follow-up stun and just killed.
The tier 4s will fall. They won't tap out yet. They are buying back. They do have PPD back in 5 seconds, but the stun. Onto CCC, he's got no BKB for 9 seconds. Can they keep that man alive? They cannot. As he will fall. 33 surrounded. As VGJ.Storm just fattening up the scoreboard for themselves. 38k lead, 46 to 25. GG is called as game 1 goes the way of Storm. And it looked pretty convincing as well.
It really did.
I don't know, but the draft from Storm was just perfect. They got Wraith King Willow.
Yeah, I mean, it looked really good right off the bat. They got Rezo on a PL versus some limited disables. They really they slowed down Pycat a lot in this game, I felt. So it was hard for Optic. It was like CCNC had to have a perfect game, and then they had to have Pycat somehow try to catch back up. But he was getting caught in arrows. He was getting caught cutting like trees, just dying in the midst of the fights almost instantly. Just the amount of damage and control from Storm was really well executed versus Optic's lineup.
Yeah, Yawar, 21, 3, and 16. They're looking pretty scary, Storm. So another game under the in the bag, and undefeated. Well, there's 5 games now.
I think you have to...
The 5th game that they played.
You got to address this Willow or the Wraith King, right? They played it...
I think you got to... Yeah, you can't let them have that dual opener. It just seems like whatever lane you have, it's far too strong.
Yeah.
They're not losing that lane.
It's like the dual lane pressure, and then I feel like the Wraith King 2 just focuses so much attention, right? Like Snaking is feeding, but he's doing his job. Like 6, 8, and 31 assists on that offlaner. He was just jumping in forward, didn't care if he died in all the situations. Yeah, it was just something needs to be addressed with how VGJ.Storm is getting the heroes that they want in every single game.
And I feel like as we talked about, sure, Optic sort of made up for the fact they didn't have stuns with their cores, but it did sort of get to the point where it felt sort of the IO and dying, it just couldn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Like in sort of the team fights, the Tombstone was getting taken out straight away. There was Yawar with sort of the leap attack speed, the classic sort of PL answer to it. It just never really was a threat. Sure, in the lane, it worked out to an extent, but it didn't sort of win the lane. It really felt like that opener, just in comparison to the Wraith King Willow opener, was just, it was on another level.
Yeah, Wraith King Willow, I felt like they shut down the Monkey King harder than the Centaur IO. shut down the PL.
Because
They
But MSS just buying back immediately. So
and
the cursed ground follow up the fact that snaking does take as long as it does to sort of take him down the twice that you have to with the Wraith King.
Yeah, it seemed like when the Wukong's command was over, it was just like, all right.
Yeah.
VG.Storm's just like, all right, let's go back and engage.
Yeah,
they still had Reza with an Aegis during all this, too.
And I believe they couldn't quite kill Yawar as well off at the end of that. Another fight where Yawar was just able to survive here as well by the Roche pit. You know, Yawar just jumping in with the BKB, taking Optic's attention away from Roshan just in time.
This is where the split situation happens.
Yes, this was the crazy fight.
Yeah.
So Yawar getting chased all the way up top, does fall, but he has buyback.
Back
no
away.
hesitation.
And we can see on the mini-map, because you were following the fight over here. Look at the mini-map. You see 33's running up top towards MSS, and then eventually the cut through from the Mirana comes through to try to deal with that, and then Pycat also dies up there, so it was just like this whole situation that turned into kind of a mess. Because Pycat died up here versus MSS while they chased to finish off Yawar. But yeah, I mean, Storm looked really good. I thought they played at such a fast pace. Optics felt like a little bit harder to play overall just with their draft.
I mean, if you did have to pick a single hero that you'd say if you're Optic, you do not want to let Storm play, would it be the Willow?
I think it would be the Willow.
It would be the Willow.
I don't know, actually. The Willow and the Wraith thing. Like, snaking, it didn't even look like the invisible impact was massive. Like, the lifesteal, like, these little things. The AoE, the lifesteal for these heroes, like, for the PL as well as the Mirana, these things add up. As well as him just being in the front lines, getting that AoE slow on everybody.
And you could really just feel sort of how awkward it is to play against the Wraith King, because there were so many times that Optic would see snaking and they sort of felt pressure to have to initiate upon him. But being a Wraith King, that's sort of what snaking wants to happen.
Yeah.
Because there's more than enough time for his team to come in and sort of prepare for the fight. The fact that you've got to take down this brute twice, so yeah, definitely. I will definitely be surprised if we see Storm get their hands on both of those heroes as the opening two.
Yeah, I mean, in game two. The Weaver was banned last time, so maybe...
I surely you ban one of those two heroes over the Weaver.
I guess the thing is that maybe PPD was thinking, okay, we might get the IO, and I don't want to play versus, you know, Weaver when we have IO, because it's very hard. You get right on top of him in the minus armor. It's very annoying to play as an IO. But maybe they're gonna have to adjust something, because it just seems like too brutal of a combo. Or maybe they take it themselves. Some type of adjustment. And we will see.
And there we have it. Storm, another impressive game for them. The 5th one in a row, undefeated. And game 2 for Optic. We've seen it in the past, you know, Optic, they can sort of suffer in game when the PPD, the mastermind, has a very different approach to the second game. And I feel he is going to need to. I'd be surprised if we see them sit on the Undying IO.
I want to see something
like
on, not the Undying.
So it just feels... It feels like something that's worked in the past, but maybe in this sort of meta that we're seeing here at TI with the way that teams are playing, you're not going to get away with sort of this lack of stuns. We're really seeing sort of the OP-ness of having control, especially in sort of the early stages of the game.
Like one of the two, right? If you have an IO, maybe not the Undying, but if you have an Undying, you want to have some other type of disable that can follow. Like, then you can have a Willow, right? Undying Willow, something like that, so...
Well, we will have a short break, I believe. We're just going to pop ourselves into the lobby. Don't go anywhere, as the second game will be starting very, very soon.